Welcome, everybody, to the Lazy Line of the Week. I am Andy from WagerTalk.com. If you have not watched our Lazy Line of the Week segment, buckle up. It is a lot of fun. Here is the premise of the Lazy Line of the Week. So, we all know the books have algorithms and software and engineer to set all these lines. And it makes it really, really tough because most of these lines are absolutely dialed in, and the value is pretty hard to find sometimes, but not all the time. And that's what we do here. We try and find the laziest line. It's a line that the books just keep putting up night after night after night, and we can take advantage of it because their algorithm hasn't caught up or their software hasn't caught up, and we can just keep riding these streaks. So, a couple of examples. We talked about LeBron James going over 1.5 3-pointers a couple weeks ago. He's gone 4-0 since we talked about that. 2 weeks ago, we went over Nazem Kadri to have a point. He went on a 3-1 run. Bang, cash it. Last week, we talked about Victor Wembanyama over 1.5 3-pointers. He's gone 2-2 since then. I'm still going to keep playing him until we're in the profit before I get off of that streak. So, let's talk about today's lazy line of the week. And if you guys could just hit the like button, leave me a comment, tell me if you're enjoying lazy line of the week or if you agree with this one. Today we're going to talk about Mr. Evander Kane of the Edmonton Oilers. So if you mention Evander Kane to Edmonton Oilers fans, you're going to get some eye rolls and groans when they think about the contract, but he's been a really valuable guy to bet on, and we're taking his under half a point. And let's take a look at what's been happening with Evander Kane here. So, Evander Kane, he's had a pretty decent amount of points, 35 points in 56 games. But as you see here, he's got multiple games with several points in there. We got 3-point game, 2-point game, 2-point game. So, he's only had the 35 points in 21 games. So to take him to not have a point, this play is 35 and 21 for the season. And we're getting really good odds. The other night against St. Louis, this play was minus 110 to not have a point. And when we look at what's happened to him early in the season, he had 6 points in the first few games in October. He had 14 points in November. But then he's cooled off. 4 points in December, 5 points in January, and 6 points in February. But again, look at it. He's only done it in 3 games. 2 against Arizona, 1 against Detroit, 3 against Anaheim. So when he gets a point, he's normally getting multiple points. That doesn't matter. We're just taking him to not have a point. So let's take a look at what's been going on with him recently, and we'll focus just on January and February 2024. So he's had 2 points against Arizona, 1 point against the Red Wings, 3 against Anaheim. He had 2 points against Columbus, 2 points against Seattle, and 1 against Montreal. What do those teams have in common? Well, 5 of the 6 of them are in the bottom 13 in goals allowed. So he is putting up points mostly against teams that are very porous. And look at the goal totals. So he had an assist. Now that game was only 2-1. It went to overtime. But against Seattle, he's on Edmonton. They scored 4 goals in that game. Columbus, they scored four goals in that game. Anaheim, they scored 5 goals in that game. Detroit, 8 goals. Arizona, 6 goals. So when he puts up points, Edmonton is putting up a lot of goals. So they're beating up on bad teams, and Evander Kane kind of comes in and gets some of these front-running type of points. But look what happens when he plays some of these really good teams on defense. Los Angeles Kings, absolutely no points. Boston, that game was 6-5. He only had 2 shots on goal. No points. Dallas, no points. Again, with the Kings, no points. Vegas, no points. In that game, they lost 3-1. So when we look at Evander Kane, when he gets a tough matchup, he's not really putting up a lot of points. But the books keep putting up for him to have over under half a point. And the nice thing about it is the line is really good. This was minus 110 against St. Louis on Wednesday. That game went to overtime, and he still didn't have a point. So what I really like about this play is Evander Kane's upcoming schedule, and that's why this is going to be the lazy line of the week, because we look at who he has coming up. So we're off Thursday, Friday. Look at what happens on his schedule. Saturday and Sunday he's got back-to-back against Seattle and Pittsburgh, gets one day off, and then Tuesday at Boston. Boston, Seattle, and Pittsburgh, these are three top 8 teams in goals allowed. I don't expect there to be a lot of goals in this game. And as we've seen, Evander Kane doesn't put up a lot of points against these good teams. What happens after that? Well, he goes against Columbus, not a great team, but again, on the road. Against Buffalo, on the road. He gets Pittsburgh again, on the road. So when I'm looking at Evander Kane, what makes him the lazy line of the week, I don't think the books are taking into account that he's got 3 brutal games coming up, along with 5 out of the next 6 games on the road. So as long as this line is minus 150, where I'm going to be playing this, and my clients are going to be playing this, these are all going to be client plays. In fact, we hit this against the Los Angeles Kings earlier this week. So when we do these lazy lines, these are plays that I have my own money on. And there are several of these plays that are out there. And that's what we have up for clients at WagerTalk.com. So we want to look at Evander Kane, take him to not have a point. He's got Seattle, Pittsburgh, Boston, Columbus, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. I think I'm probably going to play all these games. I may lay off the Columbus game. He had a nice game against Columbus. So if we hit like these 3 games in a row, Seattle, Pittsburgh, and Boston, that's 3-0. We might be done with that streak. We might move on to the next one, or we could roll the dice and see if we can extend the streak and maybe get 4 or 5 wins out of it. So Evander Kane is going to be our lazy line of the week. And this is what we do. This is what I am looking for every single day. And this is how we make money off of the books. And last couple of weeks, we've done really well. We're up almost 10 units. We've got a 5% play pending for this weekend in the UFC. We're coming off a really nice UFC win last weekend. And we've also got Formula One mixed in there as well. Lacrosse has been a dynamite over the last couple weeks. We are on a 10-3 run in lacrosse. All these plays are available for all access clients at WagerTalk.com. So if you're interested in any daily plays, we always have NHL and NBA plays where we're following these lazy lines, and you're going to see us playing a lot of the same guys. So when we find some of these guys, we're just going to keep playing them over and over and over again. We're hoping to find these 4-1 streaks, these 6-2 streaks, where we can turn a profit over a week. So if you need help building your bankroll, that is what we're here for. That's what we do, and we utilize these lazy lines all the time. So go check out WagerTalk.com, check out my profile, and let's keep building those bankrolls using these lazy lines. Don't forget to hit the like button and leave me a comment. Tell me if you like this one, and tell us what tell us some of your lazy lines. I'd love to see if you guys have a few. As I said, we've gone over Victor Wembanyama, LeBron James, Nazem Kadri. So let's cash on Evander Kane. Good luck in all your plays, and we will see everyone later.